So everybody, I want to welcome everybody and say hello. I am TK, and this is just a quick video to introduce myself and this group, why we're starting this group. So for most of you guys, you probably won't be able to watch this right now and you'll go back to watching the video, but my name is TK, and that's kind of how I started my whole entire company and how I'm doing videos for everybody. So I posted on the screen below a few of my links, and I'm going to add my bio in a little while, but I just wanted to welcome everybody that's in Arizona to our group. We do know that we had a group a few months ago, and it's being archived right now so people can heal, because sometimes after breast implant illness, we still need some recovery time. So what we are trying to do with everybody is we are trying to build an Arizona group again, and I can help most of you with certain things. So things that I can do, and I've written my information below. I've started a charity called Super HairLoss, and it is about hair health, education, activism, lifestyle, and obviously repairing our issues, right? So Super HairLoss is the new charity that we're trying to actually implement for some ladies that have had breast implants. We are going to be merging with a few other of the nonprofits that I've been working with, so hopefully moving forward, those resources will help some of us to be able to fund for your explantation. My charity is specifically geared around hair, health, and hope. I am a 34-year hair expert and a 34-year fitness master guru. I have a TED Talk that's going to be coming out and airing very soon. It's called Find Your Inner Hero, a Toxic Tale for the Follically Challenged. And I also have a book that's going to be released as well. So I just wanted to recap a little bit and welcome everybody that's in the group here to Arizona. We're going to be bringing on a few more people as we merge and grow this group. We will be having a new website updated called medicallychallenged.community, which will be a list of resources that I have personally experienced here in the Valley. And we're going to list some things that you can do to help yourself get well. So with that being said, again, I just want to welcome everybody to the local Arizona group. For those of you who are in Arizona, this group is going to be an extension of breast implant illness, because I actually had my implants out, which we're talking a little bit about today is breast implant illness. And as we move forward, we will be having videos that specifically relate to certain types of the albums that we've made for everybody with specific categories. But this is about breast implant illness. And basically what I'm saying to everybody is that I've had implants for over 32 years. This is my third set, these right here, along with the tissue. These were removed last December. You guys can see my interview and my news story is pinned at the top of this page. My TED Talk will be airing soon covering some of this, but what we're talking about today is breast implant illness, which are these guys, and after we explant, we still need more resources. That's why we're trying to join and merge and restructure the group. We've been noticing that a lot of the groups that we have been on or active on regarding breast implant issues, there's so much more after that happens. We talk a lot about detox. We talk a lot about kidney issues, liver issues. We talk about balancing our GI and our gut. We talk about hair loss, massive hair loss. We talk about skin issues, psoriasis, inflammation, rashes. We talk about joint pain. We talk about SIBO. We talk about so many things that revolve around ongoing chronic illness. So the whole point of this group and why we're titling it Invisible Illness Awareness is because after we remove the implants, we actually still have to keep going to repair our damage that was to our DNA. Hi, Kelly. So what we're doing again, guys, is our main focus today is we're covering a topic which is called BII. So what happens now is we go back. Because I am a hair expert, you ask, why do I know so much if I'm a hair person? Well, I'm not a hair person, I'm a hair expert. And for 33 years, over 3 decades, I've researched solutions and found answers to why most of us have ongoing massive hair loss. Now, this right here, obviously most of the things that I do in my practice are hair extensions and hair restoration. And when we talk about hair extensions, I can't really do any of that until our inside is working at optimal level, because we have to make sure that our liver, our kidneys, and our gut bacteria is all in a balance. Because if that isn't balanced, none of this, and none of this can ever repair itself, because we're constantly struggling internally at the mitochondria level, which is the big cell that's here that promotes cellular energy. So once that cell starts to die off and it's not replaced, that's when we have inflammation, viruses, bacteria. We have increased inflammation, right? When we start adding more things like this. So the main focus and the topic today is just to welcome everybody to the group. Everyone here, this is a safe place. This is for Arizona residents only. If there are some people on here that you see aren't, it means that they are actually either relocating here or they have a practice here and they're snowbirds. So a lot of the people that we want to keep on this group are going to help all of us with awareness and advocacy. So I know that for most of my clients that come to me, most of us have breast implants, right? So if I say this one thing and I say 80% of my clientele that are getting hair extensions for me, when they come to me, they come out and seek me because they're having issues, whether it's hair loss, thinning hair, shedding hair, brittle hair, dry hair. All of those things that they ask me are not all from doing hair color. That's cuckoo. Now, I won't tell you that some of those things are probably not the best thing. Most of the products that I use in my practice are all holistic, which means no sulfates, no parabens, and all that good stuff, no isopropyl alcohol. So the main reason why people are experiencing so much hair loss is for this reason: inflammation, which again is on my TED Talk. Now, let's say that you already are predisposed and have a gene mutation where you may already have hair loss or alopecia, right? Let's just say that. Let's go back 30 years and you know that in your genetic family history, your mother has hair loss, or your dad's side, or somebody on that side of the family is prone for hair loss, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we increase our copper, our zinc, our selenium, our vitamin D, and we want to make sure that we're reducing inflammation and that we're reducing infection. Because when we get to this part, which is the scalp, most reasons why the follicle can't grow out is because it's inflamed, or it's got nutritional deficiencies, chemicals inside of our body, antibiotics, water, air, when you're showering, the water filter pounding. So a lot of this all is from inside. So let's just go back to what we said 10 minutes ago. If we already were prone to having massive hair loss, and then we take these and we get implants, then we take Botox, then we take facelifts, we take HCG, we add nail polish, we add more chemicals, we actually increase the inflammation by 100%. So our already compromised immune system and our compromised follicles are now being bombarded by these. So once we put these guys in, our chances of repairing our quality of life, our hair loss, and our ongoing chronic illness is probably not going to happen. Because once we implant something like this, Like I keep saying, this is adding to more inflammation. So when people keep asking me, why do I keep talking about hair? Why am I riding my bicycle? Why do I talk about breast implant illness and hair loss? Because it really all is connected. It's all connected because it starts in the inside, right? So when I'm exercising and I'm riding my bike, we're increasing our core temperature at the cellular level. When we increase the core temperature by working out and our body starts to heat up, we actually reduce infection, we kill bacteria, we increase cellular energy, which is oxygen, right? We help to combat those free radicals, right, with antioxidants, and we lower inflammation. Now, with that being said, when we exercise and we increase core temperature, imagine having these guys inside. So we're exercising, right? We're doing our spin, because I teach spin. We're doing 1,200 calories. We're getting hot and temperature inside. It's kind of rising. So now you have silicone, no matter what's inside of there. This capsule is silicone, period, end of the story. So you have this sitting inside your pocket on your chest cavity, right? There's a pocket where these lay in. Your lymph nodes are right in through here, right? And through here. So now we're working out. We're starting to get heated. We're increasing that core temperature. Can you imagine if particles of this start to go into our bloodstream? I would say yes. It's almost a guaranteed fact that this thing is going to eventually break down, kind of like this. When you have a water bottle and you let this sit in your car, especially in Arizona when it's 120 degrees, it starts to break down, the plastic, right? We already know this from living in AZ. We can't leave water bottles in the car, can't leave our pets in the car, can't leave our kids in the car. We can't really leave anything in the car because it's going to melt and change colors and do all kinds of things. So let's think about this. This water bottle is made out of plastic, right? Now, these obviously aren't plastic because they would break down. So the chemical that's used in the implants is silicone, like what we use for our sinks and our bathrooms and how we caulk things. And that's how we make these. That's how they are last and made durable for 10 years. So if these guys are in here and they're resting on a lymph node, which is here, and I'm telling you all of this because I've actually been through all of this, all of it. And I lost a kidney because of all of this. So I'm going to say this. I can't talk a lot about it because my TED Talk's going to come out. I can't relate the kidney cancer to this in one specific text, but over 3 decades, I have been researching why so many people have hair loss and ongoing chronic illness. So for me personally, once I removed my implants, which these guys have about 20 to 30 carcinogenics, we'll say, on the implants. So once you remove these and you take these out, our body then starts being able to reduce the inflammation, right? So as we remove the plastic, we remove the Botox, we get rid of all of the chemical stuff we're doing, our body can actually start to heal because every single day that we wake up, we have fungus, we have viral, we have bacteria, we have critters. We call them little critters. We have critters all the time moving in our body through our colon, through our brain, through our skin, through our GI, through our food, through our salad. Even when we eat strawberries, there's critters on the strawberries. That's point blank, that's how it is. So our body has to go, whoa, we need to fight the bacteria, fight the infection, and fight the fungus because the body is designed to do that. Our bodies are designed to live to be 100. But when we start doing things like this, because today's topic is breast implant illness, we add more carcinogenics, more chemicals, more silicone, and we actually add more bacteria because these harbor mold. So let's just say, hi Rita. So we have Rita and Kelly who are actually clients of mine, and Rita was one of my stylists. So with that being said, because this group is invisible illness awareness, right? Most of us may not look like we're sick, right? Do I look like I'm sick to you? No. But inside, no one knows what's happening, right? So when I lost this guy, my kidney, I made it my purpose to change my entire lifestyle. And in order to do that, this was the first step. Getting rid of these was step number 1. When we talk about tissue, this is step number 2. And then step number 3 is rebuilding that foundation. So once we remove the carcinogenics, for most of you guys, if you don't have implants and you have an autoimmune issue, because there's probably over 410 autoimmune issues right now. Most common ones we're listing on the group because those are things that I personally know. I was diagnosed with lupus when I was 17 years old, and I will repeat, misdiagnosed with lupus because at that time I didn't have lupus. I had an Epstein-Barr virus. I was tested positive for osteoporosis, and actually another thing called Lyme disease because I'm raised from the East Coast. So moving forward 30 years, that osteoporosis now makes sense to me because I'm a hair expert, and people that come to me and have very gray, which is called unpigmented melanoma, are prone to have osteoporosis. So there's so many things that I know now that I didn't know before this. So my kidney being removed has given me a way to be able to help more of you to minimize the things that you're experiencing. So again, if you already have a compromised immune system, rheumatoid arthritis, we know that's neurological. We know that lupus is a huge issue because it attacks our kidneys. We know this. I know this because I was diagnosed with lupus. Again, we're going to say misdiagnosed, and I was put on prednisone. Prednisone is the holy cure for most medical professionals because it's a steroid that helps reduce inflammation, right? And it makes you feel like you're superpowers, right? When you're on prednisone. But the aftermath of prednisone destroyed my teeth, my hair, my skin, my nails, my joints. So my osteoporosis went to rheumatoid arthritis now because the prednisone destroyed everything that I have been doing for the last 3 decades. Does that make sense to you guys? So if we go back and we go, how comes all of this medication is still not getting to the root issue of our disease, right? We have so many autoimmune issues. I can't even keep up. As far as cancer, there's 50 million forms of cancer. There's this cancer, that cancer, 5 cancer, freaking cancer. I'm going to tell you as a renal cell carcinoma advocate, it's all the same. We just can't figure out how to treat something, so they're going to call it breast cancer. They're going to call it kidney cancer. They're going to call it rheumatoid arthritis. They're going to call it fibromyalgia. They're labels because we can't figure out how to get to the root issue. So again, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be. I've read over 1,000 books over the last 3 decades. I have been researching for 33 years how to repair my hair loss and how to repair my health since I was misdiagnosed at the age of 17 with lupus. Now, this goes back when we talk about this. There's a lot of things I can't say because it will be released in my TED Talk. But the main topic that we're talking about again today, guys, is breast implant illness, because this group that we have right now is to help all the local Arizona people. With that being said, because I have my practice here, I'm able to help more. Again, I'm going to repeat that earlier. I started a charity called Superheroes. It's to offer hair, health, and hope. Again, I've been in the fitness world for over 33 years. I was a stunt double for a long time. I've done a few movies. I taught spin for over 12 years. I am very, very, very connected into the naturopathic world. I've been studying that for the last 10 years so I could find answers to repair hair loss. When I found those answers, I had to dig deeper because I lost my kidney. And after I lost my kidney, and I'm going to say this again, it's been 1 year since I've had my explant. After I lost my kidney, I'm going to tell you the facts. I didn't feel any better. I was told that you'll be fine. You can live without a kidney. Millions of people do it. I'm like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. I'm living fine without a kidney, but if anything happens to my other one, I won't be able to do much unless I grow a new one out of my back porch. So after I had the kidney removed, and my oncologist at that time said I would be fine, and the chances of it coming back were 50-50. They gave me 5 years to live. I have to do PET scans still twice a year. I still wasn't better. In fact, after they took my cancerous kidney out, I felt like shit for like the last 2 years. I felt even worse. So when the cancer was removed, I'm like, it still wasn't removed because I still feel horrible. And before the kidney cancer, I was extremely paleo. I'm not going to sit here and do smoke and mirrors and say that I don't cheat, because everything we do is in moderation. Everything. I still had a cheat day. I went out and I cheated once a month, and I still had a drink or two here and there, okay? But I was paleo, which means I was very, very healthy. But guess what? I didn't know what I know now after I had these guys out. So it started with my hair loss when I was 17. I was diagnosed with lupus and put on prednisone. I lost all of my hair. I moved to Hollywood. I wanted to live the Hollywood dream. That's all going to be on my TED Talk. I was forced to get implants because I wanted to be on Baywatch. You're going to hear about this. So I got implants at the age of 17, 18. I was about 21. I got implants when I was 21. Within like a year, I felt weird, but I didn't feel it until now. Like now that I'm almost 50 and I go back, I go, oh, eureka. That's when I felt like crap. So when I was forced to get implants, because they said you need to have implants if you want to be in Playboy and be in Hollywood, because I wanted to do Playboy when I was 30 years old. My dream was to help my family and my parents, and I couldn't do that with any other business because I was raised in Amish country, and my parents and I were pretty sheltered, and I wasn't able to go to college because back then I wanted to be a naturopath, and I couldn't do it because there was no way I could afford to be a doctor. So I moved to Hollywood. I lived the Hollywood dream for a while, and then I decided after my massive hair loss that I needed to become a hairdresser because I had to figure out how to restore my hair. So here we are, and we fast forward. These were in for over 3 decades. Now, with that being said, I had 3 sets of implants because normally you can't do just one. They only last for 7 to 10 years. Imagine that, because they break down. So these puppies, maybe the other 2 capsules, maybe not, and there's some serious scar tissue and inflammation that was around the pocket that we talked about, because my issues were all right-sided, so I'm going to tell you this. If you look at these implants right now and you see these, they're still leaking. These have been out since December 22nd, a year and 2 months ago. They're out, right? So they're still leaking. Now, when my surgeon who put the 3rd set in didn't know what we know now 7 years ago, he left the capsules in. These are called capsules. They were left inside of there. So my last surgery I had last year, these are my implants. Some of this is my capsules. I probably still have more capsule inside. With that being said, after I had these removed, I said, my hair is starting to grow. As you guys see, this is my real hair, or you can see that. I haven't been able to highlight my hair for 10 years. We haven't been able to do a lot with my hair, and that's why we wear extensions. We don't just wear extensions because we're posh and we're movie stars. I mean, yeah, we are. We're kind of posh and we're kind of want to be movie stars, but most people wear extensions, honestly, because their hair is so fine and fragile because all the chemical toxicity in the environment. It doesn't have to do with all of the color stuff that we're using, because now if you're a smart hairdresser, you get on the bandwagon and you get color that's low ammonia or that's more eco-friendly or paraben-free. You start using better tools, you offer your clients more holistic hair care, because at the end of the day, this is dead, okay? Hair is dead. As it grows out from our scalp, this is dead. We can only nurture this so much with so many products because it's not living. But when we get up here to the scalp, this part right here, this is living and breathing. And as the follicle emits and comes out of our scalp needs to be nurtured. And that's why I talk so much about aloe, because all of the things that I sell and utilize will help repair the scalp and our internal system, which is our GI and our gut and our liver and our kidneys, so we can continue to wear extensions. So when I call myself the holistic hair expert, that's damn Skippy. That's who I am. Everything that I do, everything for 3 decades have been hair health and wellness, mind, body, soul. I've never worn nails. I don't like nails. Nails are actually acrylic. Nails are as bad as doing implants, and I'm going to say that 5 million times. Nails are acrylic like this. So if you get nails and you have acrylic on there, I would take them off. Let your nails breathe. Get hair extensions. There's no acrylic with these puppies. So going back to that, breast implant illness, again, the group that we're doing, again, is for all of us local Arizona ladies. We're going to be bringing some people on, and I can't wait. I think I tagged her in one of our posts. She's going to be moving here, I think from Florida, I can't remember, and she's going to be a strong, strong advocate for all you breast implant ladies. And I'm going to start focusing a little bit more on the things that I know best, which is hair loss, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, Epstein-Barr virus, Lyme disease, osteoporosis, lupus, GI issues. I've had all of that. So over the last 3 decades, I've experienced so many issues that now I'm able to help all of you guys with things that I found that work. And that's what this is all about. So this whole part of all of these groups and why I spend my time talking is because I want to help all of you guys, whether it's with your hair or with your health or with the proper resources that I have used and that I found to be safe, effective, and natural. I have worked with over 10 chemists. I've researched about 6 different lines for my hair care line. I have my own patent pending for my own extension tools and my own things that I'm doing, because I really understand the way things are compounded together. Because as I said, when it comes to this stuff, none of this will work if we don't start inside. And the first thing that we have to do inside is make sure our gut is clean and that we have enough probiotics so we can keep fighting all of the toxins that are going through our body. Hi, Suzanne, Rita, and Kelly. Does anyone want to type in any questions or ask me anything? Sometimes I go on a tangent and I forget about that. Do any of you guys want to type anything? Rita, do you want to talk about your situation a little bit on the group? Rita, would you like to talk a little bit about your situation on the group? Let's see if we can bring her on. Hold on a second. So if anyone wants to come on camera at any time, all you guys have to do is set your settings. These groups are very private and closed. So when we save these videos, all the comments that we type in, they're deleted. Excuse me. The videos are saved and they're posted on my YouTube, but everything that we talk about on these groups are closed and private videos. So you guys can feel free to comment and ask me questions if you want. No questions? Rita, do you have any questions, or do you want to type any comments or anything? Kelly, do you have any questions? Suzanne, do you have any questions for me? This is just a very brief, informal hello of the new group that we're trying to merge and build here in Arizona. And I know that I have a few people that are in this group that aren't from Arizona, but that's okay because they've been following me for the last 365 days, so we're not going to rule them out. Does anyone have any questions or comments for me? Rita, Kelly, Suzanne? So if you guys don't have any questions, we're gonna just recap. Again, I wanna thank everybody. My name is TK, and my companies I've listed underneath, they're my own LLCs. I've created my entire mantra and business around my hair loss, my health decline, and my misdiagnosis when I was 17 years old with lupus. And if I wasn't where I was a year ago at this time, I probably wouldn't be able to give you guys so much of my knowledge, because like I told you, I had kidney cancer, and I'm very grateful that I'm alive. And the two things that kill most Americans: heart attacks and cancer. So with that being said, I am trying to make sure I am preventative with everything I do, because I don't want the cancer to come back. And I don't want to have another heart attack, because I've had both of those now in the last year. And I'm going to explain this, because I sometimes keep going. When I had my heart issue 4 weeks ago, my heart attack, on my EKG, because when I go to the hospital, I'm very adamant about everything I do, and I need to see my own labs, because we really have to be our own advocate, because most of the doctors aren't really aware of a lot of our history with our cases, okay? They just can look at the chart and say, here. So when I had my heart issue 3 weeks ago, I knew something was still wrong. And when I sat in that ER and I told the doctor, I said, I think I have a systematic infection. They're like, are you crazy? Who are you? What do you do? I'm like, I'm a hair expert. This is what I do. I have a TED Talk. I wrote a book. It's about the follically challenge, and I be your own superhero. So I was dismissed again by the doctor that was in the ER, and she said, I can't help you because I'm not a cardiologist, and I'm not a pulmonary whatever they are, and I'm not an infectious disease guy. And I said, that's fine. You don't need to be any of those. I'm telling you, the situation is that I think I have a systematic infection that spread to my heart because I can't breathe, and I had my implants removed, and there's still some silicone left in my lymph nodes, because for the last 7 years my right implant was leaking, and that's where I had the kidney cancer. That's where I lost my vision. That's where I had my hand issue. That's where I had my teeth issue. That's where I had my shoulder issue. That's where I had my knee replaced. I'm like, eureka. For the last 7 years, I've had the same issue on my right side where the implant was leaking. And the implant before these, geez forbid, was silicone. So that crap was still leaking all in there. It was leaking for like 7 years into my bloodstream and into my poor kidney. Couldn't handle it. Kidney took a crap. Tumor was a 7. Doctor told me I have to have the kidney removed. I freak out. Here I am 4 years later, have my implants removed and go, frick, I figured out what's happening. So when I had the mild heart attack and they ran my EKG and they said, you're fine, you teach spin for a living, you work out. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I ever heard of, because just because I'm physically healthy doesn't mean there's something going on. I asked the doctor to run enzymes and a strong enzyme test. I asked her to test me for Epstein's-Barr, Lyme disease, silicone poisoning, heavy metal test for my hair, mold, and all kinds of stuff. She thought I was cuckoo, crazy, nuts. Guess what? The next week, I had a systematic infection that started in my kidney. It's called cystitis. It starts in your kidney. It shoots up. It went up to my heart. It was constricting on my heart because the inflammation was so high that I had a heart attack. That's what happened. And again, I'm in the ER. I'm like, something's wrong. They were clueless. I checked out. I went home. I called my chemist. I start researching. I bring out my labs. Oh, eureka, I had a systematic infection. So the point of all of this stuff is I'm not a doctor. I'm not claiming to be. I'm not bashing on anybody. I'm saying that my TED Talk, Finding Your Inner Hero, A Toxic Tale for the Follically Challenged, is to help all of you, every one of you, to be your own superhero. That's why the charity is called Superheroes. That's why my name is HairDoc TK, because if one more person asks me why I talk about working out, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I work out because that helps to grow hair. But people don't get that because they don't put that together. So I'm explaining why. So my name, TK, is actually my abbreviation because when I had cancer, I wanted to kind of change who I am, and I wanted a placebo effect kind of in my brain, right? Because I thought We always talk about GABAs and serotonin and depression and energy and how we think what we think and we speak what we say. If we start talking, we talk to our cells, and we can actually increase that cell at the mitochondria level and make happy cells so they can combat all of the crap that we're dealing with. Does that make sense to everybody? So when we're in a negative, shitty environment, or we're in a area where everything is fast, Botox, plastic surgery, text, blah, stress. That is depleting our mitochondria, okay? When our mitochondria depletes, we go plunk in the socket and we start aging rapidly. Cancer is aging rapidly. Fast. Cancer, which is what I had, means at 44, whatever I was pretty much like 80 years old because I had severe inflammation from this. I had 4 different types of viral infections, which we talked about: Epstein-Barr, Lyme disease, mold, silicone, and a couple other things. And I had extreme low energy level. So when we say mitochondria, that's the #1 cell here that over the long term, and I know this because I taught spin and we talk about the Krebs cycle. The Krebs cycle is increasing that mitochondria function at the cellular level so we can help reduce the damage to our DNA, because we're all gonna have damage to the DNA. Unless we live under a rock and we move to Sedona somewhere and live under a rock. And I bet you under a rock in Sedona, there's probably some DNA damage because humans keep stepping on all the plants over there and they're scattering bacteria all over. I know that when I go hiking there, you're not able to step on the rocks because it disrupts the soil. So when we talk about aging, we're trying to reverse or reduce the aging process. That's what all this is about. That's what all of this on my shirt is about. That's what I always talk about aloe, why I'm always talking about my company Univera or the holistic products that I use from my scalp treatments. Everything that we're doing is to help reduce inflammation. That's all this is about. So again, everybody, I want to thank everybody for listening and joining on the video. And moving forward, I would love it if you guys can comment, because it makes it so much more effective if I can answer questions from you guys instead of me just keep talking, because I don't always want to hear myself talk all the time. I would love to answer questions from my audience and my viewers, but this is just an overview of who I am, what we're trying to do with the group. If you guys after this video have any causes you want me to start supporting, I'm going to bring more resources. And again, I said, if you look at our group and you go through the albums, those are things that I have personally experienced over the last 50 years. And those are things that I can help with resources. When we talk about breast implant illness, I obviously had that. But I'm bringing on more people with the implant so they can actually get more help in that specific area. Because once the implants are removed, right, we still have to deal with the issues of rebuilding the foundation. It's the same thing when I talk about my classes and I'm training people for extensions, okay? And I won't train anyone to do extensions unless they have a license and they're on supplements that I take, because we have to build the foundation. When we give people hair extensions, we can't do that unless we start with the foundation. We have to start with that foundation inside. So our kidneys, our liver, our gut bacteria, all has to be producing healthy, right? Healthiness for this stuff to grow out and maintain and stay active, right? It would be like this. We're going to go ride the mountain bike today, because you guys all know I do a lot of mountain bike riding. I couldn't go mountain bike riding at 50 years old with a partial knee replacement, a scoped shoulder, a kidney missing, breast implant illness, Epstein-Barr, and all of this other crap that I'm dealing with if I didn't do what I preach, which is my macrobiotic lifestyle. That's what we talk about. Key, macrobiotic. Way important that we start really, 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 really focusing on the things that we're eating. Macrobiotic is huge. No GMOs, huge, because most of our food has antibiotics. Antibiotics, inflammation, just like this. Antibiotics cause more inflammation, right? That's why we don't like to take a lot of antibiotics when we have an infection if you can treat it properly with foods, because something like Epstein-Barr virus, you can't treat that with antibiotics over and over. You have to change the way you eat, and this is why certain foods will have a parasite in the food that increases the Epstein-Barr virus to escalate, right? So when we go all macrobiotic and we make our food sources very limited, and you stick with those things that you know are organic, no GMOs, no antibiotics, no gluten, no dairy, and no soy, you're going to alleviate so much bullshit that when you remove these, you're going to feel like a Wonder Woman. That's why we call our charity superheroes, because there's no way that I'm going to be 50 in 2 months that I can do all of this crazy stuff that I do and have all of this energy, because I don't take energy supplements. I actually am quitting caffeine. I drink espresso once a day. I used to do it a lot more. I'm quitting that. And I'm quitting that because of another issue called Addison's disease, which is adrenal burnout, which I've had 5 times. And I don't want my adrenals to burn out because I already lost my kidney and I already have issues from this, right, with my lymph nodes. So I'm quitting caffeine. I haven't had a soda in 15 years. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't take antibiotics unless it's a life or death situation, which was the heart attack that I had 3 weeks ago. I don't do HCG. I don't do Botox. I have no chemical facelift stuff. I do extensions, that's about it. I work out, I eat macrobiotic, and I take my supplements. That's what I do. And now that I do that, I feel 100 times better. So the whole point of all of this, guys, again, going back, is that most of the issues, whether it's hair loss, whether it's fibromyalgia, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's chronic fatigue, whether it's osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, Graves' disease, trichotillomania, which we talk about on another issue we have. I also suffered from what's called trichotillomania, which now I find out is another root issue from a long time ago with the gene mutation. So when we talk about all of this stuff, it all kind of is like a circle, right? It comes around to the basic circle of what can we do to get to the root issue of our dis-ease. Disease, spelled D-I-S-E-A-S-E, is dis-ease in the body. So when we have trick, which I had, which makes me want to pick and pull my hair and scratch at my skin, it's technically been diagnosed as an OCD disorder, right? They're now saying it's body-focused repetitive behavior, right? Which makes sense, because some of us will sit and we'll do this and we'll pick and we'll pull, and we keep doing that time and time again to where we actually create a pattern in our brain. So once we keep doing that, we've now simulated to our brain, hey, that's a pattern and I'm going to keep that, right? So we live in that specific pattern and we repeat that behavior, hence for it being called body-focused repetitive behavior, for years, some of us for decades. So when I started messing with my hair, I was 12 years old. We won't get into that now because that's on another video when I'm going to talk about trichotillomania, okay? My trichotillomania wasn't as heightened as a lot of the people that I service right now, okay? Because back then, I was living in a different environment. And like I said, I was raised in Amish country by very conservative Christian parents. We lived on a farm. We had our own food. Our milk was from the cow, farmer guy, delivered in glass bottles. My mother was fruits, roots, seeds, and nuts. We never took antibiotics. Everything we did was like from our own garden. We had no cable back then. Actually, we had like rabbit ear things, so we watched Little House on the Prairie. I mean, my whole upbringing was what I talk about now, and had I been able to stay there, I probably wouldn't be talking about this. I'd still probably be living in Amish country, maybe being a dairy farmer. But when we go back to that story about the trichotillomania and how I experienced it, that actually changed for me when I had the cancer. My trigger, which was the focus of twisting and turning, turned into another obsession, let's just say. So my obsession then, after the cancer, turned into working out. So I became full hardcore work. I have to work out. So what I'm telling you, all of these things, all of this disease in the body stems from three things we talk about this: inflammation, infection, right? And lack of cellular energy, core energy at the mitochondria level. When we have things like trich or anxiety or obsessive compulsive disorders, yes, some of those are genetic gene mutations that are passed down from our family, right? So now that we have this knowledge now where we can go get tested for a genetic gene mutation, you now have the cards in your hand to say, this is my gene mutation. This is what I'm predisposed from my family. So now that you see this, you can do things to start changing that, and you can actually repair those things with the knowledge that you have. So if you have an OCD disorder, you know that you should not have caffeine because that heightens our anxiety, right? You know that you have to repair the gut first because most of our depression and our serotonin lacks is on our gut because it sends GABAs to our brain, right? So we know for a fact we need to get rid of caffeine. We have to commit to exercise every day because that increases the mitochondria at the core level, reduce inflammation, reduce bacteria, reduce infection, and reduce stress and anxiety, right? So those things, anxiety, OCD, it's still, if you go back to the circle and I draw a big circle, you can't see on the board back here, but it's like eureka, I'm gonna be 50 years old. I've been a hair expert now for, 34 plus years, and I'm like, oh, I'm almost figuring this out. But it's going to take a lot of focus and a lot of commitment on your part, because when we talk about the trich, which we'll talk about in a few weeks, you can't just take a pill and the problem's going to be solved. That doesn't work like that. In fact, if you start taking pills, serotonin, Lexapro, Oxycontin, Valium, Zoloft, all of that's going to cause your kidney to take a crap, and it's still not going to fix the root issue. So when we start taking pills and we want a cure, not going to happen. It's going to cause more issues like this. Breast implants, which is our topic today. When we take these breast implants and we remove them, that is going to relieve about 10 issues, right? But we still have to get to the root issue. I'm not sure, most of us that got implants, why. If it's for reconstructive surgery, want to feel better, want to look better, my husband, my job. I told you, the reason why I got implants is because I was in Hollywood. I was cast for Baywatch and Playboy, and I was told I had to get a boob job. I wasn't insecure. I was 20 years old. I had a smoking body back then. I actually had nice boobs back then too, but my agent said, get the boobs. So my issue for getting the boobs wasn't really because I was depressed or anything. It was because they wanted me to cosmetically look better. So when I removed these, I still have ongoing issues because these guys were 3 decades, 30 years of infection, inflammation, pieces of this coming off, silicone, mold, parasites. So I actually did a double whammy. So the whole point of the groups again, and what I'm saying is we can't do just one thing. We start with the symptoms that we have. So this group right now and this talk is about breast implants, right? If you have breast implants now and you already are suffering from trichotillomania, osteoporosis, arthritis, fibromyalgia, Lyme disease, Epstein's Barr, chronic fatigue, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, cancer, any disease out there, because there's so many I can't even remember. First thing is you take this out. I guess what I'm going to say is how much Do you care about your life and your quality of life? Because this isn't worth it. And I actually say this now. Get the boobs out, get hair extensions. They'll cover up your boobs and there's no cancer. Not gonna get cancer from having hair extensions. This, you will. There's already facts. So once we already remove the one symptom, we can start treating the root issue. So that's what this is all about. And I wanna thank everybody. Hi, Rui. I wanna thank every one of you guys for watching the video today. And again, this is just kind of a quick kind of overview of breast implant illness, kind of what the group is about, the topics that we're going to be covering moving forward. I'm going to start really trying to be more organized for the group so we can do a topic every week that relates to something that means something to you, because this may not mean something to all of you. It may only mean something to people who have implants. For those people that are on the video, like I said, you can always post comments and ask me questions. That's what this is for. It's for you guys to comment so I can answer properly. And remember, this is a private, closed group, so no one can see the comments. Once these videos are posted, the comments are actually removed. The video is put on a different platform and there's no comments on the videos. So again, I want to thank everybody today for joining in. And again, we're going to be adding more resources to the group. And today's topic was specifically on breast implants, breast implant illness and tissue. And we're going to move forward on weekly videos and talk about all of the albums that we've uploaded. And hopefully soon all of us can become superhero facilitators, because the goal, obviously, I know I need to have some volunteers to help me with my charity, Superheroes, and this group is local in Arizona. So once you guys become a client of mine and we repair your hair and we get results, you're a superhero, and we get you a cape and you can start being part of the charity. So again, the charity isn't just for hair. The charity, Superheroes, Hair, Health, Hope, and Education, is to help people restore their hair. That's a given. Repair their health. That's another given, right? Educate. That's what I'm trying to do, is to educate others so all of you guys can be advocates and advocate for yourself. So when you go to your doctor or your psychiatrist or your surgeon, you have questions so you can actually help your doctor help your case, because we are not all the same. And they don't know everything. They know what they're taught. They know how to do certain surgeries. They're learning more. That's why it's a good idea to find a naturopath, because generally a naturopath can help. But remember, not everybody knows each specific case. So it's up to you to be your own superhero. Keep a journal. Start to manage your own health, because no one can do it for you. And remember to get out and do something. It's very important to start with that one step, which would be changing your diet is key. We will talk about macrobiotic on our next video. It's really, really not hard to change your diet. And I've been telling my dad this for the last 30 years, because the food that most people are eating has antibiotics. It's addicting. That is the only reason why it's hard for you guys to get off some of the food you're eating and go macrobiotic, because the food we're eating has additives. Period. End of the story. Watch a movie called Super Size Me about McDonald's. I'm not saying that you can't do it in moderation. I'm never going to say that. Moderation is key, or you're going to go cuckoo crazy. You have to do it in moderation. But the food by far is causing more anxiety, more stress, more inflammation, more disease, and food is medicine. So we have to pick the right foods. That's key. 2, remove the main symptom. So if you have breast implants and you have other issues, get your boobs out. That's going to be the other issue. And the third thing is start to implement a workout program, whether that's a treadmill, whether that's swimming in a water, because I teach aqua aerobics, so no one can tell me anything and no one can say they can't. I teach Silver and Fit for seniors. They're like 65 plus. They're older. We do water aerobics. So we frolic around in the water. It's called Sneakers, Silver and Fit. It's an older program. We still are in the water because there's no weight bearing on our joints, right? And we're still doing cardio. So no matter what the issue is, I have a friend who is blind, legally blind in both eyes, and is a Paralympic gold medalist. I'm like, oh my God, the guy is blind. He's on my TED Talk, and he's a gold Olympic medalist and a public speaker. No excuses. We have to work out. So I'm gonna wrap up this video today again and tell everybody, I want you to find your own inner hero. I can only help get you to that point. I can help you with your hair, that's a given. I can repair anyone's hair if you do what I say, right? The other issues, the OCD, I can help with that if you stay consistent with the things I tell you. The weight, I can help you with that if you stay consistent. I can help, but it's up to you to be your own superhero. Change your diet. Start today. Take one thing and change it. I would say get rid of anything that is heightening the anxiety. Caffeine, coffee, soda, tea is okay, but you want to reduce that caffeine, right? Start drinking less. I'm not going to tell you to quit drinking. I get that. Oh, you can't quit drinking. Lower your drinks, maybe 2 drinks instead of 7 drinks 5 days a week, right? Food. Exercise, we're gonna increase, right? We're gonna start to do that. And find the symptom that you're having issues with, whether it's implants, whether it's Botox, whether it's plastic surgery, whether it's HCG because you wanna lose weight. There's something, one thing that's a symptom that you're having that if we remove that, we can start to get to the root issue. And that's what this is all about. So I wanna say, everybody, thanks for joining. Can't wait for next week. Please feel free to message me or comment, do whatever you guys are comfortable with. And as we grow this group, each video is going to be on specific topics. So hopefully you'll be more understanding moving forward of what we're doing. And I can't wait to help more of you guys and to get you guys all involved with the charity because it's going to be great. Because you know what? It's all about having fun, right? So the whole part of the charity is to be able to have fun, to be able to help other people, because the only way that we as humans are going to be able to get better is if we help other people. End of the story. To able to receive, we have to give more, right? So with that being said, thanks everybody for joining. Remember, your 3 things you're going to do. You have a list, 3 things. You're going to change something significantly in your diet tomorrow. You're going to remove 1 thing. And if you want to come on the group and talk about it every day, that's what we're here for. Remove 1 thing, whether it's tortillas, alcohol, smoking, I don't know. Remove 1 thing that's crappy that you know you shouldn't be doing. Second thing, you're going to start exercising. If you have a baby, because I know Rita has a baby, get the baby carriage, walk the baby, start walking, increase your walk, start walking around, cardio, because that increases core temperature. The third thing, we're going to remove the source of the symptom. For me, it was these. For some of you guys, remove those nails. And yes, I'm a hair expert. Nails, acrylics, plastic. My spouse is a podiatrist. He works with feet and makes plastic prosthetics. I've been in his lab. Ugh, toxic. Nails, remove them because your nails are being absorbed within 25 minutes, the nails for sure. Your acrylic will be a nail. When you soak in the acetone, that's being absorbed through our tissue right here. So get rid of the nails. And then the other thing is follow up with me because I want to know what everyone is doing and that you're making those 3 steps, okay? Bye guys, superstar.